Don't you understand? Need to turn your body back. Don't you understand? Need to turn your body back.
We are live.
Live and direct.
Welcome to another episode of Normal Guys Talk Sports.
Episode 42. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is 2 o'clock on, this is Thursday, June 15th, 2 p.m. And we have a special guest today.
I think this is our youngest guest ever.
Probably the youngest.
Easy to say that.
Unofficially, this is Andre, also known as Dre. Say hello, sir.
Woo!
What's going on? This is he is a part of Double R's family tree, one of
Absolutely
the younger members of the family. But he's I've known Andre some years now. You know what I'm saying? We've been crossing paths a lot. You know what I mean? He's been by the studio. He's been making music. He's been going to school. He's been playing sports, right? Basketball, football. You want to talk about that a little bit? Been doing your thing. Talk about basketball. Talk about football. How's that been working out? What you been doing?
Well, we already We're 1-1.
1-1, and this is basketball.
Mhm.
This is
Yes.
basketball. So I've been to an Andre game or two.
Okay.
He put some points. He's one of the better players. I'm not just saying that. I'm not like he is one of the better players. Like when he plays, he is. So I've been watching Andre play some basketball.
What position you play?
What's it called? Starting forward?
Starting
all the
forward.
above.
Okay.
He takes the ball up. He shoots. He does everything. You know, everything is needed. He
does.
We played a little bit. He's seen me put some shots up.
So
He seen me make a real life three. Like I said, I made it. And I was like, Andre, you seen that? He's like, yep. And I was like, okay, just because they had the regulation, and then on the side they got the
NBA line.
no, yeah. I mean, regulation's 10, but on the side they got maybe like 8 feet for them. How do you want to say?
8.
Yeah, Andre's 8.
8
So,
years old. Okay.
Andre's 8 years old. So that's about what, 3rd grade.
Well, yeah, finna be 3rd grade.
Finna be 3rd grade. So he is active and he is on his way. And I manifest and speak to existence. He's going to play at high levels in basketball. And
So
football.
you play football too?
Well,
Haven't
I
you?
don't
You
know
played
what-
football before. You
yeah,
played
yeah.
football, yeah.
Okay, you
not right now, but last season. It's not a season, but he's played football as well. So
I don't know who this person is, but they said, "Hey, I have a question. Which is the best, second best basketball league in the world in your opinion?"
second basketball. Oh, I don't want to get it
League.
right. Is this an internet? Okay,
That's
outside
an international
the NBA,
question. Outside of the NBA,
Outside the NBA.
G League.
I mean, look at. Wow, great question. I mean, you got Australia, you got Asia, you got Europe,
Spain.
Spain. I mean, but as far as the actual league to pinpoint to one, I don't want to.
Maybe we can touch back on that.
We'll
a
get
little
back
bit
to
later.
that. Great question, though. Great question,
Yeah,
though.
awesome
I mean,
question.
We want to do some research, but yeah, whoever's doing the biggest numbers, that's what I give it to. The NBA is great question. But I'll say loosely, it's got to be in Africa's on the come up. But you got leagues in
Africa.
Europe, you got leagues in
J.
Asia,
Cole
and
was
leagues
playing in Africa.
Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so
J.
you got-
Cole was playing in Africa, so
So they got a lot of things developing. It's I think it's surpassing soccer as the most popular sport. I think soccer has been soccer for quite some time. I think basketball is surpassing that as far as like overall globally, every country. So we'll look into that. It's probably an international viewer. Appreciate that.
so Andre, in the NBA, what's your favorite team?
Who are you? What teams you're familiar with? Players you're familiar with? You watch some games. You play 2K. He has 2K.
He got 2K. So
He plays
know
2K. He plays 2K and Madden.
If he plays 2K, he know the players.
We can confirm he plays 2K and Madden.
If you play 2K, you know the player. You got a favorite team and you got a favorite. Probably
More
got
of
a
a
favorite player.
PlayStation 5 guy.
Okay.
He's more of a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 type of guy. I think he's got his own account and everything.
Probably like Golden State.
Golden State. You like Steph Curry? Steph Curry? You like how he be shooting the ball? You know what I'm saying? I always tell people.
No bias. We
Steph-
did not prepare him before this.
Steph Curry.
That was a raw
Well,
answer
Steph
right
Curry has inspired like every child
there. I mean,
who
he's on
is
TV,
playing basketball.
man. He's
But
on
it's
TV
it's
all
a
the
good
time.
thing though, bro, because Steph
I
Curry.
know
you
he's
gotta look-
clean cut image. all
Clean
due
cut, but
respect.
then at the
Win
same time,
championship, cool.
Steph Curry is like the ultimate underdog. Like he is short.
Yes
he
and no.
is
Yes
he
and
is
no.
not
His
as
father was in the NBA, so he had a hand up and compared to a lot of players.
he had a hand up as far as like knowing the motions to go
Genes,
through.
preparation.
Yeah, he has the preparation part of it, but like the physical attributes, he is the opposite of everybody who's been successful. A lot of people who've been successful.
He's a smaller player. He's a guard compared
He's
to
a smaller player.
a center, the dominant center, all the dominant centers, and then your Michael Jordans, your LeBron James.
He's not. I mean, obviously, he is actually pretty effective in the paint, but his most effective part of his game is his shot. Obviously, But yeah, Golden State, they got a good team. I don't know how much longer Golden State is gonna be Golden State, but yeah, I like Golden State. Ed don't like Golden State though. He like the Kings.
I know that.
Yeah.
Sacramento.
You know that. That's all I talk about. You know that. You know me. You know that. So
So is Golden State the team you always using on 2K?
I'll say that.
Yeah.
what about any other teams, any other players that you're familiar with that you kind of like as well?
We got
Outside
Nene
of-
in the building.
Aside of the obvious, outside of the primary answer everyone gives. Who's that? Is that?
That's Nene.
Shout out to Nene. Shout out to Nene.
Shout out to Nene.
Always holding down the studio. Always holding down
And
the office
Nene,
for sure.
well, we kind of just asked him this, but I didn't say it was his favorite player, but Nene asked Andre, who's your favorite basketball player and why?
Probably.
Is it somebody on Golden State or is it another team?
I have two choices.
Two choices.
Who
let's
your
hear 'em.
choices? Who your choices?
go.
LeBron or Curry.
LeBron or Curry?
Okay, can't argue that. That's a lot of
I
players.
think Curry.
You think Curry?
A lot of the people's favorite players is LeBron and Curry. So, good answers. Good answers.
Even in a
From the
down
youth.
year,
From the youth.
even in a down year, Curry is still killing it.
In the okay. So, moving on, talking about basketball. So that's like I said, that's intro to Andre for sure. But,
Absolutely.
but moving on to basketball, the finals just concluded. We have the Denver Nuggets beating the Miami Heat in 5 games.
94 to
Oh, look
85.
Look at Andre. Look at Andre. Stat keeper.
Stat keeper.
Stat keeper over here.
So you watched the game,
So
Andre?
you watched.
I don't watch the game, but I can remember the score.
You remember the score?
Okay.
Okay. So that was the last game. The closeout game. You had Jokic win Finals MVP. This is the first championship in Denver
First time.
Nuggets history, formerly a ABA team.
Who would have thought? Carmelo never got one there. It's kind of crazy.
He.
I like Jokic though.
They peaked. They peaked with them. They had they were running into the Lakers in the West Conference Finals. So they made the West Conference Finals. So that's as far as they went, and they kind of started falling apart from there. So
I like Jokic. He's very Tim Duncan-esque. If I was to compare him to another player, and just watching it, what I've seen from the finals, they're just obviously more of a complete team than the Heat is.
I mean, the Heat were the ultimate underdog.
Right.
They got knocked down from 7th seed to 8th seed. They beat the Milwaukee Bucks, the first seed, with Giannis. Giannis got hurt, so that's a little asterisk right there. But then the second round, they beat the New York Knicks, being the underdogs against them, and they were in the 5th seed. Then they defeated the Boston Celtics, which was the 2nd seed. So I think like they ran out of gas. Great organization. They developed players well. That's signs of a great organization. They had like 7, 8 players undrafted.
Right.
They were getting ready to break it up. If they didn't have success in the playoffs, but they exceeded everyone's expectations. They got some veterans over there: Kyle Lowry, Kevin Love, and then they were getting ready to probably break it all up or retool, either trading Jimmy or Bam. But in my opinion, moving forward, I think they are going to build on this success and for sure keep those 2 core pieces and try to land a big name. And one of the big names that are out there is Damian Lillard. I think that is somewhat of a possibility. And I think we're going to see a lot of movement at the NBA draft, and that's within 2 weeks.
So, let's hypothetical situation. If the Heat get Damian Lillard, do you feel like they would be a favorite to come back out of the East?
Of course. But you can't keep it as is, and namely, I say the first player that they need to trade, get rid of, respectfully, is Tyler Hero, because they made the NBA Finals without him because he got hurt in the first round of the playoffs, and his extension is about to kick in. He's going from $5-6 million a year. This is according to HoopsHype.com. This has everyone's salary on there, and he's about to be making multi-year contract at around $27 million. So he's about to be making a lot of big money. His extension kicks in, and they made it to the finals without him, with a bunch of undrafted guys. So he's respectfully, arguably not the 3rd best player on a championship team. If if you got Jimmy Butler, played as great as he did, one of the best players in the league this past season, one of the best players in the playoffs, right? Jimmy Butler, you remember him, right? He played pretty good, right? He had 40-point, 50-point games.
And Jimmy put the team on his back.
Jimmy put the team on his back. Love him or hate him, you know, he was one of the underdogs in the playoffs, and he put up some big games. The other games he didn't show up at all. But if he had a better production out of his backcourt, you know, like Kyle Lowry, just older. You know, he great resume. You know, made the All-Star team, has a championship, but he's older. You know, but if you get a point guard in their prime on that roster and give up some spare parts that isn't producing up to their contract, the Heat are right back in it. You know, they have one of the better cultures, one of the better organizations. They have 3 championships, you know what I mean? You know, 2 with LeBron and them and all that. So, and they've been to the finals a bunch of times, like 7 times, I believe. And then the Eastern Conference Finals a bunch of times as well. And then having all-star caliber players, like, you know, for the most part. They're not bad for too long. When they were bad is when I was, like, young. When they had, like...
Before Dwayne Wade.
Before Dwayne Wade, exactly.
Yeah.
Before Dwayne Wade. Before 2003, exactly. Like, Eddie Jones was, like, their best player.
Then they got Dwayne Wade.
And Alonzo was going his ups and downs. And, yeah. So, but their first championship was with Dwayne Wade and Shaq and them. And then they retooled it with LeBron. So they have Pat Riley. You know, he has a lot of rings. Past as far as a player or coach or an executive, he has like all these, you know, a lot of rings like combined. So he's there running the show. Eric Spoelstra, my Filipino uncle, you know, he's been a coach a long time.
He's a decent coach.
He's been a coach a long time. He started it in the editing room, right, giving up footage and this and that, learned the game that way, and then they developed within, hired within. So you can appreciate that, respect that of the organization, if you're a fan of the Miami Heat or not. So I think they'll be a top team next year, and they're going to be aggressive and make moves to get better. And that's kind of, you know, so shout out to the Miami Heat on their great season. They overachieved, which is it's not a but you have to build on top of it. Now expectations come. Now I'm expecting the Miami Heat to get good. If they have Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo on the roster, they're supposed to be good still. You know what I'm saying? If they start losing with those 2 players on the roster, then you break it up. They were getting ready to. They bought themselves some time, you know, to make the finals, you know, and then to land a big name. You know, you become an attractive destination for free agents and players that want to leave their team. So the Miami Heat they recruited LeBron once upon a time. So
my next question.
Yes, sir.
What happens with Denver?
What happens with Denver? They're still in the conversation. Jokic is still one of the best players in the league, if not the best. He's won MVP the last 2 years, not this year. And then he won Finals MVP, and they won the championship. They have no reason not to be top 2, 3, 4 team in the standings all year next year, as long as he's healthy. And they keep all those guys together. You know, shout out to all these. Shout out to Dialogue. Shout out to Dialogue. So. All these players that were maybe, were forgotten about or didn't get the recognition. But, you know, Jamal Murray never made the All-Star team, you know, second best player, you know, playing great. Caldwell Pope winning his second championship. Michael Porter Jr., you know, he came in, made some key plays, you know. Aaron Gordon was on the Magic for a while. You know, he was forgot about. He's all these players. You know, it just shows you that that anything's possible, and the small market can succeed. And you know, and they drafted Jokic 41st in the 2014 draft.
Wait, they did what now?
Joker. They drafted him 41st.
Oh yeah.
So you know, just show like
what,
you know,
early pick.
All these picks. You know, like anything could happen. You know, a lot of number 1, top 5. Top 10 picks don't work out, and
majority of them
and some of these second rounders turn into all-stars, and now in this case a Finals MVP,
and it was almost the league MVP.
There you go. So shout out to the Nuggets, shout out to Mike Malone, former coach of the Sacramento Kings. We fired him prematurely, and He is a championship coach now with the Denver Nuggets, and they are going to be in the conversation. Next 3 to 5 years, realistically, as long as Joker's healthy, they'll be. He's one of the better players. Who's stopping him? If I am a GM of another team, I get a bunch of centers. I don't just let them walk. I sign them all. I have 2, 3 capable centers, i.e. that's what the Lakers should have did. If the Lakers had more depth at center, we'd be having a different conversation. That's why the Lakers lost against the Nuggets. So if teams like the Lakers or whoever else want to beat the Nuggets, you have to beat them at their own game. And they built that team, with some trades in the draft and, in a small market. That's not so it showed you the GM knew what he was doing, the coach knows what he's doing, to win in a small market. That is a great task indeed.
Maya Himahaya.
I don't know. Shout out to it might be. shout out. Say,
But shout out to you for checking in.
Shout
on
out
us.
checking out to see. I don't know. Might be a family member. I don't know.
Y'all know.
It's you. They know you. They know you. We're gonna play your music before the show's over for sure. Shout out to Dre for being on the show. And then who do you think's gonna win the championship next year? You think the Nuggets gonna go back and do it? You think the Heat gonna go back? You think another team gonna go back? Early championship.
Who do you want to see
Who
win?
do you want to see? There you go.
Definitely couldn't.
Definitely going to stay. There you go. Today's
Y'all know
youth. Today's
that-
youth.
Kyrie Irving talking to LeBron about coming to the Mavericks.
Latest rumor. This is a rumor. This is I could confirm this rumor.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me.
Shout
Though.
out to Dre for his late breaking rumor. No, true. He did
I ain't
recruit.
gonna lie,
I don't know. LeBron is.
Would that work though?
Would it work though? If you don't give up Luka, the Lakers are gonna want Luka. The Mavericks aren't gonna want to give up Luka. So that's the standstill. What do you give the Lakers? Okay, here you go. Here's LeBron. What do you give the Lakers?
But I mean, this is an older LeBron.
It's an older LeBron, but he's still worth something. You know what I'm saying? You got to give him something. So if that could work out, and if ultimately, if he wants it, if he forces it, then Dallas becomes the powerhouse. Dallas is a bigger market, and Dallas, I don't know if you consider the super team, whatever, but you put an all-star guard with LeBron, you put a shooters with LeBron, they're in the conversation to do the whole thing. Still, you're about to be year 21. He's still in the conversation, so potentially if it comes to Dallas. But I see, we'll see. You got to throw the Lakers a lot, or unless we'll see how LeBron's
That's a big trade.
how big LeBron's leverage and reach is to get what he wants, ultimate in LA or somewhere else.
Ain't gonna lie though, that's a big trade and a big contract.
But LeBron to
take
play with
on.
Luka and Kyrie, they'll be in the conversation, and then a lot of players would sign at Dallas on the low for sure. You play with all them, you're gonna get open shots. You're getting to pass the ball. All these players are superstars. I think that can pass, that can playmate.
As we're talking about
Kyrie,
this,
Luka,
almost
and
wish I wish
LeBron.
Chrome would come in here.
Yeah,
'cause
Chrome and his
he'd
2 cents.
pee his pants.
Shout out to Chrome.
to find out that LeBron was coming to Dallas.
He pee his pants. He pee blue.
Yeah.
Excuse me. We shouldn't be talking like this.
But
that's funny.
Oh, even the
man.
possibility. I mean, would Mark Cuban want to make that move though?
Yeah, you always want to get bigger. You always want to get better. How does LeBron James coming to your roster not make you better? Whatever team you are, how is that a bad thing? You know what I'm saying? As long as you don't got to give up any of your, if you don't got to give up your best 1 or 2 players, then yes.
At the
If you
same
got to
time-
give up 1 or 2 of your best players, then no. Then there you go. Then that's that.
I mean, you almost do it just for the ticket sales though,
Box
and
office.
the TV revenue.
The Mavericks are on TV all the time. The games are selling out. The tickets some more. We'll be at the game. Bring Andre. So, Next season, a lot can happen. So, but the next thing is the draft. So the draft is I think next Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, June 22nd. And that is our next episode.
Got San Antonio on the clock.
San Antonio. So they're getting the young guy for sure. Webby Yaman, Webby,
I can't pronounce his name.
the young man from France.
Yeah, the tall gentleman.
So the draft is.
You
Say
said
again?
what? Yeah,
In the mic,
what's-
in the
you
mic.
know his name?
Do you know who the young draft pick is going to be?
The
Spurs
the
have
guy
number
who's
one-
going to get drafted
Spurs
first.
have the number one pick, and they're going to pick a young French player, and he's like 7'5" or something like that, and he moves like Durant. And he's really tall. He's from France, and he's like 20 years old.
Don't know him.
Well, you will. He's about to be drafted to the Spurs next week.
I'm about to see if I can pronounce his name. What is this boy name?
So the NBA draft is
Paulo. Oh nope,
Thursday, June
that's
22nd.
Victor. Oh, that is a hard name to pronounce. Hold on.
So we're at episode 42. Next week we'll have our NBA draft episode, and the top 10 picks.
Victor
Should be some
Wembanyama.
movements. There you go. That's him. That is him.
Victor Wembanyama. 7'5". Jesus. That's. I mean, the only thing that scared me about
And he
somebody
moves.
that
And
tall
he
is
moves like Durant. And he like moves like he can shoot. He can handle.
is a player that tall gonna be able to stay healthy though.
That's you got it. But he's in the best situation scenario for a young player. San Antonio, just like I talked with the Heat, San Antonio is one of the main teams that develop players. Coaching one of the best coaches of all time, Greg Popovich. So he's going to be coached up great. This is the best scenario, and we can look back at past episode. I recall I said I had a feeling that the young man was going to go to either Houston or San Antonio. I felt because they were losing they had the losing records all year long. They were tanking, and here we are with the draft a week away. And just to refresh everyone's memory, the first 14 picks from the NBA draft lottery, we have San Antonio with the first pick, Charlotte with the second pick, Portland with the third pick, Houston with the fourth, Detroit with the fifth pick, Orlando with the sixth, Indiana with the seventh pick, Washington with the eighth, Utah with the ninth, Dallas. The Dallas Mavericks with the 10th might be on the move. I believe it's on the move.
I think it's gonna be a lot of trades. outside of that first
11, Orlando from Chicago. That was a trade they made from the center. Was with Orlando. He's on Chicago now. That's a part of that trade. Oklahoma City with the 12th pick. Toronto with the 13th pick. And New Orleans with the 14th pick. So I feel there's going to be at least 3 or 4 trades. You got again, I think the two main teams to watch, and it's going to snowball affect the entire draft, is Charlotte at second and Portland with third. For sure, Portland, though.
So I got another question, in just your matter of opinion. What do you feel like happens as a player who's making a lot of noise on the internet? He's making a lot of noise last season because of his ability to not play. What happens with Zion Williamson next year?
Oh, that was a great question. So he's already been in some trade talks. I've seen his name attached to Charlotte for the number 2 pick. I've seen what else? And then New Orleans also in trade talks with Portland for the 3rd pick. You know, what would be I could see happening: Charlotte and Portland trading out of the draft, trading
Out of the first round?
out of the first round to New Orleans. New Orleans just breaks it up. You know, that'd be, and they get 2 and 3, and they trade. So they said to Portland they would want C.J. McCollum, Brandon Ingram, and and their pick later on. So that builds a better team in Portland. Hypothetical scenario. New Orleans, hits the reset button, and then they trade him to Charlotte for the 2nd pick, And so then that gives Michael Jordan's leaving town, but it leaves Charlotte two, young stars, and then New Orleans starts over 2 and 3, and they just get done with Zion. Zion's been there 4 years, and he averages 29 games a year out of a possible 82. That's bad.
Awesome player when he's on the court, though.
Awesome players on the court, but is it worth all the time he's missing?
No.
Exactly. So, and maybe if he doesn't want to be there, whatever. He's from South Carolina, I believe. Maybe he needs a change of scenery. He wanted to end up in New York. That was a rumor that was out back when he was getting drafted 4 years ago. The Knicks ended up with the third pick, not the first pick, that year. They drafted his college teammate R.J. Barrett. But he went to New Orleans, and some would say even back then to now, he's never been fully happy in New Orleans. He wants to be in a bigger market. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. And maybe some feel that he sat down some games as of late when he could be playing. So that's one of the rumors about him.
I mean,
within this past season,
he was dunking before a game
and missing the games,
missing the game.
So what's that about?
I mean, it looks weird.
What's that about?
And it wasn't just a normal dunk. It was like a 360 windmill dunk.
What's that about? I think Bradley Beal's a name to watch out for. Portland's a name to watch out for. Portland either gives it one more run with Damian Lillard or they trade Damian Lillard. One of the two things happen at the draft, I feel. So Portland, Washington's a name with Bradley Beal. That's a big name to watch out for.
We got Lil Donnie in the building.
Shout out to Lil Donnie. He's at the studio somewhere.
Yeah,
he's here.
He
Shout out
said,
to Donnie.
Dre,
Shout out
tell
to Big
everybody about your song.
Big Donnie too. Yeah. No, we're gonna play a song before the show's up. We'll play it. We got a music video. He's got a music video, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So so a lot of I expect some movement. It's exciting. The draft is an exciting time nonetheless. Players get drafted. They're giving their opportunities at the NBA, and a trade or two happens. It happens. Maybe a star player, but as of late, more of maybe not the biggest names, but I expect maybe a big name or two. That would be exciting nonetheless. So the draft is next Thursday. Me and Matt plan on we're gonna have a draft episode.
Actually, if it's Thursday,
yeah, next Thursday, yes sir, next Thursday.
Yeah.
So this is episode 42. Episode 43 will be the NBA draft episode special. So so that's a lot of basketball for sure. But once again, shout out to the Nuggets. Everyone's on the clock, starting with the Spurs.
LaDonnie asked Dre another question. Well, we answered the first part of this question already. Dre's favorite team is Golden State. But what do you think about the champions? What do you think about the Denver Nuggets?
What do you think about the Nuggets?
This will be the last thing we do when we go to football. But what you think about the Nuggets?
There you go. How about the Nuggets? Any players on the Nuggets? Who plays great?
I mean, Jokic played real good.
Jokic played real good. He had put up 30, 20, and 10 in the game.
Sheesh.
The 2K numbers, bro.
Yeah.
30, 20, and 10.
How do you beat that?
Right. So shout out to, who else is on that team? Shout out to Jeff.
Wait, 30, 20, and 10?
Yeah, correct.
Jesus.
Correct. Shout out to Jeff Green. He came out the same year as Durant. He came up with Durant. He was drafted to the Sonics. He's been on 12 teams in 15 seasons. And now a champion with the Nuggets. Yep. Yeah, Jeff Green. Drafted in 2007 with Kevin Durant. They went 2-5 to the Sonics. They both went to the Thunder. He got traded for Perkins, so he's on the Celtics. And yeah, he's been on 12 teams. Ish Smith, he's been on at least 10 teams. He got one there. Who else? Reggie Jackson, he's been on a few teams. He's on the roster. Jamal Murray. Like I said, we could say Caldwell Pope earlier. Who else is on the roster there? DeAndre Jordan.
DeAndre
Jordan's on the roster.
How
Another
old
big
is DeAndre Jordan?
How long has DeAndre Jordan been in the league? He just got drafted in the second round. He's been in the league a little bit. He was on the Clippers with before Chris Paul. He was on the Clippers with Baron Davis.
Yeah.
That's how long DeAndre Jordan. So yeah, shout out to the Nuggets.
LaDonnie said Jeff Green played for Boston.
Correct. He's played for 12 teams total. and then Ish Smith. So that's impressive to me too. Career journeyman, respectfully, Jeff Green's had 20, 30, 40 games in his career, but again, that's a lot. A lot of
That's more than a lot of people.
lot of change, a lot of different change, and and you could have been forgot about, but he's one of the older players, and again, came same year as Durant, been teammates with Durant multiple occasions, and he was just on the Nets with them not that long ago, and then he was on the Thunder with them, and then he has a championship. So shout out to Jeff Green. That's probably one of my favorite players on that roster.
Griffin was on someone roster in the playoffs.
On the Celtics, he was on the Celtics. So he would have had a crack at it. The Celtics were a legit championship contender, so it's not wrong for Blake to be on one of those teams chasing it. Maybe his knees aren't what they were.
I was just about to say,
he's on the roster. He's just not playing.
Is Blake Griffin still considered a superstar?
Negative. I mean, you're respectfully past your prime star. Still the name. He's still the name. We're still talking about him. He's won the John Conley. He's been an All-Star. He's did that. He's made a lot of money. But he's
had
on the
some
Boston
injuries.
Celtics, and I have not seen him play yet. I've seen him on the bench, so he's on the roster. He gets DMPs, but he's on the roster, so he's there. Emergency scenarios.
So do we want to close out on basketball for the day?
Close on basketball. Yeah, shout out to the Nuggets. I think we're in on that note. And then the draft is next week, so more coverage then, more in-depth coverage of all the teams. Then, great shout out to the season 2022-2023. It's surreal that the season's over, but the off season can be just as exciting, especially with the draft and free agency, and preparing for the upcoming season.
And plus, football about to start back up.
Football's about to start. So football starts in August, September. Basketball starts in October, and there we go.
The last thing Donnie said, he's a hurt superstar, and he's like Derrick Rose. I guess that's a good way to put it. So, NFL, man.
Shout out the NBA. NFL. Shout out to Andre. Who's your favorite team? He's real.
Who is your favorite NFL team?
Who's your
You play
favorite?
Madden? No, we play Madden. You play Madden. All right, who's your favorite team on Madden?
Cowboys.
There you go.
Cowboys?
Say it proud. He's from Dallas.
Okay.
From Dallas. Loyal to the soil. Ain't nobody mad at that.
You like Dak Prescott?
Love Dak Prescott.
I don't know. He ain't answering
He
quickly.
loves Dak Prescott. What you read?
You like that? Okay, let me ask you this question then, because you didn't answer that quick enough. Who's your favorite quarterback in the league? Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. He knows some names.
Why you like Aaron Rodgers? Because he wins?
Big passes, big games,
Good arm too.
big arm.
Yeah, I remember when I was Andre's age, you know, my favorite quarterback in the league was Brett Favre.
Brett Favre was like always my top 5 for sure.
Brett Favre.
Outside
bro.
of like rooting for the home team, yeah, like something about Brett Favre. Everyone liked Brett Favre for sure.
Brett Favre.
And he was on the cover of NFL This is way before your time, Andre. He was on the cover of
Yeah,
NFL Quarterback Club
Club.
98, 99,
Yes.
and 2000.
Yes.
I had 98 for sure.
Oh, N64.
N64 classic.
Oh,
I might have to get N64 one day.
bro.
I might have to do it.
But
Might
yeah,
have to do it. That's on my bucket.
that's what
list.
everybody is saying about Aaron Rodgers. He has to complete the Brett Favre cycle.
Go the Jets, right? That's
He,
crazy.
yeah, Brett. He's going to the Jets.
Then go to the Vikings. No,
He
he's
then
not going
go
to
the Vikings and then beat the Packers. But no, I like Aaron Rodgers. I just don't like when my team's playing against him because he's like he's very clutch. He is probably like the most clutch player.
Who's going Super Bowl, Andre, next year?
Don't say the Cowboys.
Who's going to Super Bowl?
Probably Ravens, because they got Odell too.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about. So I'm a Ravens fan. Yeah, we got Lamar Jackson. We got Odell. We got Zay Flowers. Yeah, the Ravens, they going to be something crazy this year. You said what? They might not, but you know, we definitely improved our chances. I feel like significantly. You know, Lamar got his money. He's happy, and we got a good team. Also, my Ravens play your 49ers this year, Ed.
Say again? Oh yeah. That's right. Matt was looking at the schedule. They play Christmas Day, and if the football gods, you know, make it happen, maybe me and Matt could make that trip. But we're looking at some games for sure. That game's on the schedule, and a few Cowboy games. Since we do live in the city of Dallas, going
Yeah,
to a
gotta
Cowboy
catch
game
it.
is
The tickets prices ain't that bad.
Yeah,
On
is an option.
Christmas, the Cowboys did beat the Eagles.
So who's your favorite player on the Cowboys? If it's well, it might be Dak Prescott, but if it's not Dak Prescott, who's your favorite player?
Well,
CeeDee Lamb. Okay, he's pretty good. CeeDee Lamb's pretty good. Yeah. I think Cowboys always have like a good receiver. Just like they just need one great receiver on the team. How you like Ezekiel Elliott? No, you don't. You happy they got rid of him? At least I'm not the only person that feels that way. But yeah, nah, Ezekiel Elliott. The funny thing is, Ezekiel Elliott wasn't really playing good at all. But a lot of people was still feeling some type of way when the Cowboys got rid of him. So
he ran like 4 yards a game.
yeah, he ran 4 yards. It was pretty much that was pretty about 4 yards a game, and then that'd be it.
Pollard just gonna take over.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Only thing is, Pollard he broke his leg. Yeah, he broke his leg in the playoff game, but hopefully he'll be back and he'll be ready to
I
go.
know he twisted it, but I didn't know he broke it.
Yeah, he broke his leg. Yeah, he broke his leg. So, but like I said, luckily he got a bunch of time in the off season to get his stuff back right, and you know he'll probably be back sometime next year. But yeah, what other than the Cowboys, what other teams do you like? Like if you were playing Madden and you didn't pick the Cowboys, what team are you picking? You can't say New York because you ain't even played with them yet. The game ain't come out. So who else do you play with on Madden?
What game?
On Madden?
Or you just pick the Cowboys every time?
Oh, you pick the Cowboys every time?
Probably pick Cowboys 89% of the
pick
time.
Kansas and sometimes the Eagles and I think that's it.
You don't pick the Ravens? Why not?
Only when I use them more.
You be
I
running?
want to smoke someone.
When you smoke someone?
Yeah, when I want to smoke someone, I just pick them.
You be playing people online? I know you play Madden. Do you play Madden online?
Mhm.
Right. So he plays online. Let's confirm that. 8 years old. So PS5
The
yeah. There's
game of
8-year-old
choice.
PS5 users out there. Just to put it
Oh
out
yeah,
there.
Madden 24 is gonna come out on August the 16th.
The fact that he
18th.
know. The fact that he knows.
Yeah,
this.
the fact that he knows.
The fact that he knows.
But you can get the
Get the
pre-order right
The
now.
pre-order? Okay. You got your pre-order? Well, hopefully.
The standard edition is like about $70.
Whew. These game prices going up.
You gotta wait a little bit.
But the deluxe edition is like
I wait about Black Friday to get a game or two.
But still, though, you gotta
some
think-
prices gonna drop.
Well, I mean, maybe that's a sign of the times the pricing went up, but it felt like games was like $50 forever. Since I was his age or maybe even younger, I felt like games was like $50 flat.
I felt like 50, 60. It's kind of
Not even 60. When I used to buy PS1 games, $50. and then you get the greatest hits for 20. But they up to 70 and 100 because they want to sell you the collector's edition. Who you think gonna be on the cover of Madden? Did they already?
It was
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Shout out to Buffalo Bills. Shout out Big K.
So another crazy thing has happened. You just kind of brought up Buffalo Bills. The team had put out an APB on Stephon Diggs recently.
Really?
They could not find him.
I mean, he's a disgruntled star. Especially they lost a little earlier than expected this last place. They were expected. They're still one of the best teams in the AFC, and they're one of the teams. If anyone's going to stop the juggernaut of the Kansas City Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills is on that list.
So
But how much patience does he have? If you again, this was all post bulletin, like everyone.
Basically means like when we was looking at the Amber Alert on the phone, that technically would be like an APB.
He like missing or something like that.
He's like missing, yeah.
Yes.
He's missing from the team and facility, and everyone on the team does not know where he's at. That's what's going on with Stephon Diggs and the Buffalo Bills.
So another big thing that's been going around in the league too is where is DeAndre Hopkins gonna go?
Great question.
He's gonna go to Kansas.
Wow. That has been in the rumor mill. I hate to say it, but it has been the rumor mill. I hope he ends up anywhere else but there. That's the rich getting richer
If he
right
does,
there.
they
That's the
go
rich
to the
getting
Super
richer.
Bowl again.
I mean,
That's the rich.
is that the rich getting richer though?
Yes. Yes, he goes there. Then their offense is only better than it already is when they're already the best.
I'm gonna
offense.
ask you a question.
They already got the best quarterback.
I'm gonna ask you a question, Edward.
Yes, sir.
Outside of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, name a player on the Kansas City offense.
Great question. Great question. Outside of those two, they have former 49er running back McKinnon. I believe he's there. Right. See, number one. He was number one, the running back.
You know him because he was on your old team, though.
Correct. That's how I know him, McKinnon. So he's there.
And he doesn't start.
He doesn't start, but he's had a good game or two. Who's not good? It's running back by committee on Kansas City, respectfully. And then other receiver, Juju
is on the Patriots.
Yeah,
he just left. Oh, he left. Okay, so he was there last year. So who's there this year? Who's their receivers now? Great question. No longer got Hill. He left. He got big money in Miami.
Dolphins.
Correct. And then, so who's the receivers now? Right. So they need receiver help, I guess. So
It's just crazy. Even
they
though
lost Juju. Okay, so he was he the number? Shout out to Big Donnie. Big Donnie too.
Yeah, no more Lil Donnie.
No
Big
more
Donnie.
Lil Donnie. Big Donnie.
Grown man Donnie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would kind of make the argument that even though it is kind of like the rich getting richer because they just won the championship, I would make the argument that they don't really have any great receivers on the team like that.
What you mean?
On the Kansas City Chiefs, it's not.
But
ain't
just like back in the day when they had Madden and you had Peyton Manning and you pick Peyton Manning and the whole field light up. That's like Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
That meaning Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback. He's gonna make you look great when you're average.
Yes, this is true.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And then with DeAndre Hopkins, he's had a lot of great years. He's not what he was, but still looks pretty dang good.
That's
with Patrick
more
Mahomes,
like
him throwing him the ball.
I look at DeAndre Hopkins like I look at like when the Ravens got Anquan Bolden. He's that type of receiver. So it's like he's not necessarily the fastest guy on the field, but
running routes,
and
running routes. You don't got to be.
He's gonna catch everything that.
Well, I mean, some of the best
direction.
route. Again, there's route running, but there's a different element. Some of the best route runners isn't going to be known for their quote unquote speed. It's route running.
I had DeAndre Hopkins in fantasy last year.
Yes, correct.
And when he came back
from suspension,
he still put up good numbers. he still put up good numbers.
Correct.
Shout out to Jermaine in the building. He said, "Who is the kid? Whose kid is that?" So Dre is definitely family.
He's a part of Double R's
Yes.
family tree for sure.
He is family.
He is.
But DeAndre Hopkins still got it, bro. D Hop still got it.
No, and especially he's made DeAndre Hopkins has made subpar quarterbacks look great. So with his prime years, he got to give a lot of good years at Houston. So, and then what about linking up with his man's in Cleveland? That's a possibility. That is a possibility. I don't know how much, but that's the top 5 possibility. Familiarity, XYZ. Who's your receiver? You want to have a camaraderie, understanding with your quarterback.
Who is Zeke going to?
Where's Zeke going?
Where's Zeke going? Zeke might be going to Walmart.
Oh, you stopped that.
He might be going
He
to.
might be coming through these doors.
He might be going to
He
Target.
might walk by right here. He might come to the studio.
He might be
like
going to Boys and Girls Club.
Come on, man.
He might be
Come
going
on,
to.
man.
Come
on.
he might be going to the YMCA.
Let's see. Come to the Cowboys, slim chance. If not to the Cowboys, his career's not over. But as far as
I'm joking.
Pro Bowl
I'm joking.
caliber. Where would he go? I think the Eagles is an option. I think the Eagles, a divisional rival.
No, that's not about to happen.
No, didn't they get somebody?
Why would the Eagles pick him up though?
That's what they said.
Why would it?
It's a rumor.
DeAndre Swift just went to the Eagles.
Correct. But again, it's safe to say no one's looking for Ezekiel Elliott to be RB1 to get majority of the touches. That's not the reality.
Right.
That's he's coming in RB2, RB3 and spark off, that's what he's looking to be. Under a team that's already established. He's not going to carry your team. He's got to be one of the final building blocks, not one of the first building.
I see Ezekiel Elliott getting picked up possibly if someone gets injured on another team.
High possibility. So you're saying you're taking the over under. He's going to be free agent week 1.
Yes. Wow. I feel like he would have already
free agent week 1.
I would he would have already been picked up if the demand was that high.
Especially since the draft already happened.
Draft already
He
happened.
got picked up before the draft.
And get picked
He
up.
get picked up during the draft
Or after.
So my opinion, just to kind of clarify and confirm with you, after the draft, roster spots are being filled.
Right.
The demand to go out and get any player,
Right.
Ezekiel Elliott, whoever, is lower because the draft just happened.
Right.
The NFL draft.
But Ezekiel Elliott getting signed is more contingent on somebody getting injured, which is gonna happen.
It's just the NFL.
It's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna get injured.
A lot of teams deal with that at some point in the season.
Like I feel like last year, or was it last year? Last year or year before last, the Ravens had every running back that any team didn't want on the team. Last year. So I mean, the injuries are gonna happen. So it's just where does he end up? It's gonna be the most random team you could think of. But yeah, Zeke is I don't know, Zeke.
Let's manifest that his NFL career is not over.
I don't think it's. I'm like I said, I'm joking. I don't think it's over, but it's like
it's not.
It's like coming closer to the end.
Remember we used to say Ezekiel Elliott and potential on the same sentence,
right?
That no longer
correct.
There's no. He is who he thought. He is who we thought he was.
And I can't knock Ezekiel Elliott because he did have some really great years. The first 3 or 4 specifically here in Dallas were like,
I mean, great lineman help. If I remember right, he actually got the start with Romo. Then they brought in Dak.
No. So Tony Romo got injured in a preseason game.
Okay.
injured his back.
Then they started both the rookies week 1. That's what it was. Okay, man. Okay, man. It was supposed to be Roma. Then the new regime started. Okay, man. So there was a
Friggin-
lot of. It was a lot. It was. Those were some.
Dak Prescott wasn't necessarily supposed to start or anything, you know, anytime soon when they drafted him. He was initially supposed to just be their backup.
Right, and then you can start all this. I remember those were some.
I want to say
When the
Dak was
Cowboys
picked.
when the Cowboys would win in their rookie season, those were some
Now that rookie Dak and
rookies. Those were some
and
exciting
Zeke,
times.
yeah, that
in
was some
Dallas.
it was some
Those
exciting
exciting
times in Dallas.
Yeah, rookies winning you games and stuff. Yeah, that was some good. Did they make the playoffs that year?
They did. I can't remember who they lost to. I want to say, was it the Seahawks?
I don't remember. No, that's more recent, sir. Check you out.
Yeah,
It's more recent, past 2 years. But when they were rookies, we'll have to fact check that. But no, but the Dak Zeke regime looks like it's coming to an end. I think there is a slight chance he comes back to Dallas. You know, what if one of their guys go out? You know, what if they have a spot or whatever?
like I said, Tony Pollard is still kind of
Not 100%.
not 100%.
Right.
So,
He got hurt during the playoff game.
but I ain't gonna lie, in that
He
situation,
broke his leg. What did he do? He did something like that.
Broke his leg.
Broke his leg, right?
but I will say this: it does say a lot to the fact that that injury happened to another player and they still let him go.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I
Wow.
would
Great
definitely
point.
yeah.
Great point. Dang it.
So
Great point.
to me, it's safe to say that at least this year, Zeke's time is not going to be in Dallas. A lot of people love Ezekiel Elliott, though. Like, it was a good time.
Shout out to-
It was when it was good, it was good.
Right.
You know, when it was good, it was good. You know,
Correct.
when it was bad,
Right.
that's the only other thing, though. It's like the Cowboys got to have a strong running game, bro. They don't have a strong running game. Dak is going to be throwing an interception in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left. I ain't going to say I can guarantee it.
To the
but
49ers.
To the 49ers, to the Jaguars, to, you know what I'm saying? And the funny thing is, I like Dak Prescott a lot. He's a great guy, great personality, and he's a decent player. But sometimes,
How much time does he got
how much?
before he's in the hot seat?
I mean,
He's seen
He
his
got
mans
really-
he's seen his mans get cut.
I would say Dak has this year really, and maybe next year, but this year is where he's crossing into that end point of his that later point of his contract when the cap numbers rise, the cap hits rise. So it's going to be one of those situations where, you know, they either keep him or play him, you know, an exorbitant amount of money, and typically, I don't know if you realize this, most quarterbacks, these big contracts that they get, a large majority of them do not make it through the entire contract.
Right, because
It's almost for
incentive.
certain.
Games played, snaps played. Right.
Right. Most of these quarterbacks who get the
It's performance based.
base, yep. But I will say the good thing about Dak Prescott's situation is when he got that contract, and then everybody else got contracts that were significantly higher afterward, like right after. Yeah. You know, he got his contract, and then Patrick Mahomes and everybody else, all these other quarterbacks got their contracts, and they were like, Dak's probably like number 10 as far as like pay scale. So, but yeah, Dak, I'd say he got about a year or two before it's just kind of like, what's up, bro?
Right.
What's going on?
I guess to close out this the NFL and Cowboy conversation is we'll take a look at the Cowboy schedule. Let's give it a little loose prediction of what they're going to do. Because our special guest here is a Cowboy fan indeed.
Oh, one time I went to
Okay.
the state fair, and then I met Trayvon Diggs.
He coming
Roderick Sharp. Shout out the color in the building.
Shout out to Color. Shout out to
Color says Dak is trash.
fellow Dallas
I don't
native.
think Dak is trash.
Fellow Dallas native. We're
I
on
just
the topic.
think that like I said, I think that Dak just isn't a player that is gonna take over a game.
Okay, here we go. I got the schedule from me. Okay, we got the preseason. Just bring it up, just for the fun of it. We got the Jaguars week 1 at the Cowboys. We got the Cowboys at Seahawks, and week 3 Vegas Raiders at Cowboys. That's week 3 of the preseason. Doesn't matter. A lot of experience. There should be fun games. I am down to go to one of those games, sir.
One in the preseason.
Yeah,
Ain't them doing like $20?
Saturday, and they're all Saturdays, so I'll be off work and everything.
I'm doing like $20, ain't they?
So what we got here? We got at Jacksonville here and the Raiders here for sure. I'm down to go to the Raiders.
I ain't gonna lie. If out of those 3, it probably
the second game is in Seattle.
Oh, then yeah, the Raiders.
So the Jaguars or the Raiders.
I might be down for that Raiders game.
Right, preseason. So those should be some fun games. We'll see what happens there. The roster will fill out. Okay, so we got the full schedule. Here we go. Cowboys at Giants, Sunday Night Football, week 1.
That could be an L.
That's going to be a good game, huh? What do you think, sir?
They gonna win that one?
Huh?
They got a W.
You got a W. Okay. We got a
So the
win.
second game.
Second game. Jets at Cowboys. That's gonna be a great game. Aaron Rodgers, favorite player. Your favorite.
Sauce Gardner.
Sauce Gardner,
You got talking to the mic.
Talking to the mic, sir.
You like Sauce Gardner?
One of the best
He
young
cold.
corners in the league.
And plus, you got a name. If your name is Sauce Gardner,
You better come with the sauce.
you know what I'm saying? You better come with that sauce.
All the sauce. Okay. So
Against the Jets,
you got the Cowboys.
it might be an L.
Might be an L. Wow. Okay.
It's here though. It's here.
Modest pick. Okay, we got the Jets beating the Cowboys. All right, so week 3.
So
we got,
y'all beating the Cardinals?
yeah, the Cardinals. I think they do. With no starting quarterback. With
Kyler Murray
Kyler
not-
Murray,
I
Kyler
mean-
Murray will be out at the beginning of the season. He is
That's-
hurt currently. Kyler Murray. Shout out
Man.
to Allen, Texas. So
you might be able to play Kyler Murray on Madden.
So we got
be
the
at home
Cowboys
playing
beating the
Madden.
Cardinals week 3. All right, week 4,
Patriots.
Patriots at Cowboys.
You know what? I will give the Cowboys that. I'll give that Cowboys that game.
The Patriots, a bunch of young guys.
I mean,
Juju ain't gonna make that much of a difference.
Yes, you're right. Okay, so next game.
Y'all win that. Y'all gonna lose that.
Let's get serious,
I
right?
mean, it's a 50-50.
That's
Is
not
it-
a 50-50.
At San Francisco, it's Sunday Night Football.
It's like a 28.
You want to do a hair versus hair match? You're right. Hair versus hair. Yeah, so, yeah, they're
That's
losing
a tough
49ers. Let's get serious. In San Francisco, let's get serious.
That's a tough game.
Uh,
Y'all could win though. You see, this is the thing though. Cowboys do got a great defense, so I feel like this game will definitely be very similar to the last game y'all played, which was down to the wire to a certain extent.
We lost by
Christian
7
McCaffrey,
points.
Debo Samuel going to run all through that. All
We
right.
lost by 7 points. Okay.
Sweet. Okay, so next page. All right, next page. Next week, we have the Dallas Cowboys visiting the Los Angeles Rams. This is October.
You mean the Chargers?
Excuse me, the Chargers. Los Angeles Chargers in Inglewood. It's going to be a Monday night game at the Chargers. Justin Herbert and them.
I might get that to Justin Herbert. Well, I don't know. That could go either way though.
So that's going to
That
be
could go either way.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So week 5 was at 49ers. Week 6 is at the Chargers.
So they
The
playing
second,
both.
second road game.
No, it's a home game.
No,
They just playing LA back to back.
No. Check you out. No, the Cowboys at San Francisco, Cowboys at Chargers. Then the next week is Rams at Cowboys.
Oh yeah.
So it's back to back road games in California.
Oh, okay.
So they're going from San Francisco to LA.
And playing all 3 LA teams, or well,
California, yeah,
4 out of
California,
the
California,
3 out of the 4
California,
LA teams or
California,
California
California.
teams.
No, but yeah, back to back. So maybe that's gonna. I don't know. So we say we're gonna beat the Chargers, or that's a disadvantage. That's what I'm saying. I'm just putting it out there.
I mean, we know. I know we're gonna beat the Rams.
No, we're gonna beat the Rams. I agree with
I
that.
can-
I
I'll
agree
let
with
them have
that.
that. They'll
I
beat
agree
the
with
Rams.
that. I agree with that. I agree with the Cowboys
Rams is
beating the
gonna be
Rams.
trash.
Yeah, the Rams are gonna be bad. So that's week 7. So
Next week, y'all
next
gotta go
week,
to Philly. Y'all gonna win that?
8. Yeah, so it's gonna be Cowboys at Philly, week
It's
8.
just like Christmas Day. I mean Christmas Eve.
What's Christmas Eve?
No, not yet. Not yet. Christmas
So, like,
Eve.
on Christmas Eve, last time we won versus them.
Okay,
Ah.
but I mean, what about this game? You don't think the Eagles got better?
No.
The Eagles got way better.
the Eagles lost.
The Eagles went to the Super Bowl and then they got better in the draft.
They did draft a big that young stud.
They got 2 new defensive linemen, and then they got DeAndre Swift, who the Lions are crazy for making that trade. I want to say they trade like a 3rd round pick or something. He's like a young starting running back.
So
That's gonna be a tough one.
the next game, either week 9, they're gonna have.
No, I think they'll split with the Giants. So if they don't win the first game, they'll win this game.
Right. So New York Giants at the Cowboys. That's week 9. So 1-1. That's a realistic prediction.
Oh, and then we go versus what's that quarterback name that just went to the Panthers?
Great question. He's the number 1 pick.
Not C.J. Stroud, but
So what's it? Number 1 pick. We Google that. Number 1 pick.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. So yes, correct. So they got the number 1 pick, but I think they got some more building to do. The Cowboys probably win that game.
Cowboys should win that game.
Yeah, the Panthers got a lot of pieces still to.
Unless Bryce Young just come out there and he just go crazy.
He's not there yet. Yeah, he's not there yet. So 9, 10. Next week we have the Commanders at the Cowboys.
So y'all
Thanksgiving.
they almost always split with the Commanders.
Cowboy Thanksgiving game, potential game I want to go to. Potential game I want to go to.
I don't know what they were doing.
The Commanders are a rebuilding team. I don't know who they're. They still got Taylor Heineke. What's his name is out the door. I don't know if he's on the roster.
Carson Wentz.
Yeah,
I think he's
out the league.
couch surfing
until further notice, right? So yeah, so Heineke. So the Cowboys should be ready for them. The Cowboys should be ready.
Seahawks.
Next game, the Seahawks at Cowboys Thursday night.
And the Eagles again.
So as 49ers fan, Ed, do you think Geno Smith do you feel like last year was just kind of like a fluke, or do you feel like
I think he went under the radar, and then he played well, and he accomplished what he accomplished last year. But like this year, there's going to be more expectations from him and more game planning against him. So I think he'll at best do the same.
It's more game planning against him, but
if at best he'll do the same as he did this past season. I don't see him being better than this last season. You know, he is a little older. I think he's going to play about the same. You know what I'm saying? But I don't. They're not better than the 49ers. They're not winning more games than the 49ers. They're not doing that. That's what they're not doing. Like so, and against the Cowboys, I think the Cowboys. The Cowboys were a playoff team last year, and the Seahawks were not.
the Seahawks were.
Were they?
But they just got kicked by
They lost to y'all.
We did beat them. I'm tripping. We did beat them. They did make the playoffs. They
It
did make the playoffs.
It wasn't a wild card.
They did
Yep.
make the playoffs.
They lost in the wild card round.
So
And then next game y'all got the Eagles again.
Eagles,
Then-
yeah.
Y'all not gonna beat the Eagles twice. So
right.
you think y'all gonna lose the first game or the second game?
I think all fairness,
Probably second.
If
Yeah,
y'all lose the second
because
game.
you know it's split, right? The first game's in Philly, the second game's in Dallas. So the Cowboys will probably win in Dallas. Philly
Win the
will
home
probably
game.
win in Philly. There you go. Next game, December 17th, we have the Cowboys at the Buffalo Bills. Shout out to the Bills. Come on, they're not beating the Bills. Come on.
Cover.
They're not beating the Bills.
Main cover. Madden 24.
There you
But
go.
you know what they say there's this thing called the Madden curse. You know what that is? Yeah, you know what the Madden curse. So you never know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how Josh Allen gonna hold up. You know, Josh Allen is kind of like a wild player a little bit. You know, granted, obviously I don't want to see nobody get injured, but
But didn't Tom Brady be on 22 with Patrick?
Yeah, I think. Well, they might. I think they might have.
Well, the point being, if you look back past like 20 years, like a lot of quarterbacks have been on the cover of Madden and like got hurt.
and just almost all of them. I think
Like
Tom
most
Brady
of 'em.
might have been an exception out of like 20
Yeah,
years.
Tom Brady was like, but like, yeah, past like 20 years, like it's been like more than half, like for sure.
It's been like 80%. When Lamar Jackson was on Madden, he definitely got injured later that year.
And then after that game, we go versus Tyreek.
Yeah. Whew. Two things I guess I would say about the Dolphins, how I feel about them. I feel like they're gonna have a similar season to how they did last year. Start off hot. By this time of the year, they might be a little bit gassed. So I feel like y'all could possibly win that game as well.
Lions. Last year, I went to the Lions and Cowboys game.
Nice.
And then what happened? Did y'all win? Y'all lost?
No, we won
Okay.
24-6.
24-6.
Trayvon took it.
So he's probably, is he your favorite defensive player? Or-
I'll say Michael Parsons.
Micah Parsons? He's like the best player on the Cowboys.
He almost, they almost let him be on the Madden 24 cover.
I mean, I wouldn't.
So,
I would like to see a defensive player get it.
Yeah.
so to close out the
There was
season,
never-
you got the Cowboys at the Dolphins, Lions at the Cowboys, and then the Cowboys at the Commanders. So, not to be a hater, but at least 500 for sure. Like 500 for sure, but like 12 games, 14 games, 500's 9-8. 9-8, 17
Or
games.
I guess 8 and 9, 9 and 8.
Yeah, 8, 9, 9, and 8. So 500 season for sure. I'm not a hater, but again, 12 games, 14 games. That's a lot of games.
I
It's
mean,
a lot,
but
it's a lot of the games you're winning.
I mean, I Cowboys could go to the play. I almost feel like the Cowboys gotta go to the playoffs, or else it might be a wrap for like
Half the squad, right?
half the squad. Like,
No, for sure. No, they gotta make the playoffs. But again, you have to respectfully. The Eagles just made the playoffs, or not the playoffs, the Super Bowl. So they're one of the top favorites to dominate the NFC. You know, in the whole NFC, not just the NFC East. The Cowboys just have to, they have a chance at the wild card, but to win the division, they gotta mess around and beat the Eagles once or twice, right? They gotta do that.
so we got a couple comments that came in while I was looking at the schedule there. No sir, trash. So I'm assuming he's still referring to Dak Prescott being garbage. So we got Mike B in
Shout out to Mike B.
in
Shout out
the
to Mike B.
building. He says, "I'm not a Cowboys fan,
He's a Giants fan.
but I don't know if Dak is trash. I just think Dallas isn't for him, nor does he have the greatest deep ball accuracy." I think
Fair assessment. Shout out to Mike B.
if it's one thing
204.
I would say with Dak, I don't think it's his deep ball accuracy, but he doesn't like I feel like he's scared to throw the ball into like tight coverage. And I know that sounds weird, but like the thing that really sealed when Dez Bryant was on the team, that's kind of what sealed his fate. Because Tony Romo kind of has like that I'm just going to throw it up type of attitude. Dak's not like that. Dak, if he doesn't see it, he's not going to throw it. And then when Dak does make a mistake, it's like a blatantly obvious mistake. But Dak doesn't. I think Dak doesn't really take a lot of risks to throw the ball down the field. But yeah, I think Dallas. I got them going to the playoffs by the skin on their teeth. Maybe they get 10 wins.
10 wins. How many
10
wins?
wins.
Out of 17 wins, because that's how many. If you knew that,
I got them
17.
10
How many games do you see the Cowboys winning? Out of 17, and that was the schedule. We just said it.
Probably 12.
Now, if y'all win 12
12.
games, they would win the division. I feel like.
12.
Or
Oh,
or be very close to it.
But last year we won 12 games, but we still didn't win a division.
Then you lost Ezekiel Elliott. Then you lost Ezekiel Elliott. What you
The
think?
team actually might be
Got
better.
worse, not better.
I don't
Got
know.
worse.
I don't know if they got worse.
They got worse.
No, they didn't get
Losing
worse.
players don't get better.
We just
Nah.
got this
Here's the
running
thing.
back from the Texas Longhorns.
Okay. They did draft somebody.
Number
What
4,
round?
number 4.
What round? I did draft a running back. I do remember that. Like top 3? I don't remember.
3.
Was it round 3? It wasn't the first round. I would have remembered that.
Yeah, no
I would've
running
re-
backs went in the first round.
Correct. Right. So they did draft a running back.
So I think the Cowboys did not get worse by getting rid of Ezekiel Elliott.
I'm talking jive, but
I was about to say they actually got better because they ain't got to give him no more money and they can spend it elsewhere. So they actually got, in my opinion, they got better. They could pay somebody
young
else.
legs. They got young legs.
Yeah,
you know.
whenever it's time for Micah Parsons or somebody else who's really making a crazy impact on the team,
Yeah.
needs do that.
Yeah.
Do that.
Like Trayvon or something.
Yeah, or Trayvon Diggs. This is what his 3rd season coming up. Or
Yeah,
4th?
third.
Yeah, it's his 3rd season. He's a good player. And then I think the Cowboys got Stephon Gilmore too.
They did get hit from the
Yeah.
Colts.
Yeah, they
From
picked
the
up
Colts, he
Stephon
was
Gilmore.
big time. Yeah, they
Yeah,
gave
so
up-
he'll be a decent piece. And then on offense,
do
they
give up.
they signed Cooks.
Devin,
from the
Devin?
Texans,
Yeah,
receiver.
yeah.
He was.
Devin?
He was.
They did.
Devin
He
Cook?
was trying to leave.
No,
Past 2 years, he was trying to get out.
Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, they
Past
signed
2 years,
Brandon.
he was trying to get out of. He was trying to get out of
Yeah.
Houston.
So y'all got, they got some, they made some decent free agent moves.
I mean, he's still in Texas.
He's
Right.
still in Texas,
At the move too far.
But I got the Cowboys winning about 10 games. 10 games. I give them 10 games.
At least 500. I'll say 9 or 10. 9 and 10. I'll say 10 as well.
I got 'em
Okay,
winning.
10. Well, I'll say 10 because Matt said 10. So 10.
I got
I say 10. Matt says 10. Dre says 12.
I got 10 games and them losing in the wild card again.
Wild card. We lost in the division.
Oh, y'all did. Oh yeah, y'all won one. Y'all beat Tom Brady in the playoffs. I forgot about that.
was it?
Blowed him out. Third quarter was 24-0. They didn't even get to score.
Facts.
But I still got them playoffs wild card round L.
We probably made him retire.
I mean, the crazy part is it's still rumors about Tom Brady coming back.
Slim chance. They said if on the Raiders,
Yeah, they're
if
talking
Jimmy
about.
Garoppolo wasn't ready to go, but because he is a part owner of the Raiders, and Jimmy Garoppolo is the highest paid quarterback on the Raiders, and they were former teammates on the Patriots.
Jimmy Garoppolo was a decent player, but I feel,
Top 32, top 32 in the league. I tell you.
But I'm
Let me tell you, top 32.
When do you think the Vikings gonna let go of Justin Jefferson?
Great question. 'Cause
not
they just-
anytime soon.
They just let go of that
Because
running
he is,
back.
Like, 'cause
That's why he
just
said
got
that.
an honor of being the best receiver of the
What's
league.
up?
Justin Jefferson. I don't think that because this is his 3rd season, 3rd or 4th.
No, they just cut their running back.
Right,
Right.
Dalvin Cook.
Cook, right?
But I don't see them getting rid of him
That's probably-
anytime soon.
Where that question
Unless
came
he wants to leave. If he wants to stay there, he's not going anywhere. Now, if he wants to push his way out, but I don't. As far as I know, he's happy. As long as they pay him, he'll be in Minnesota for a while. But at the same time, though, most star receivers get disgruntled at some point.
from. Correct.
So it wouldn't surprise me if he ended up somewhere else. Most, like, whoever is the top receiver at some point, or for one reason or another, he's going to be angry about whatever. So it wouldn't surprise me if he goes to another team. Like, there is no real receivers who, like, go their whole career on one team.
What about
Fitzgerald.
Devontae?
Who?
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams
he
still on
just-
the Raiders till further notice.
but he was on the Packers. So I mean, same thing. You know, he was the best receiver in the league.
But now he got caught. No. Jimmy?
He was
Yeah,
playing.
he got
he was
Jimmy
playing with the
Garoppolo.
money, and then he got up out of there. Like,
But yeah, so I just honestly, actually, you know what? Justin Jefferson may very well be leaving Minnesota. You know, at some point, I just don't
Like
know when.
2 years from.
Why you want him to come to the Cowboys?
Huh?
You want him to come to the Cowboys?
Yeah. Of course.
the recruiting pitch started early, huh?
Yeah, the contract ain't
Pitch
over
right
yet.
here. More guys talk sports.
But yeah, I think we got to do our shout outs, Ed.
Okay, how time check?
We are at 120.
120. Okay. Speak of the Floyd stuff. The Floyd.
So I'm not hip to that. You got to fill me in on that.
Okay, apparently there was an exhibition fight with Floyd Mayweather I had no idea about. I saw it after the fact. It was against Joe Gotti III, whatever, mobster grandson, whatever. It's an exhibition fight. The ref stopped the fight. The ref he was a ref for a lot of Floyd's fights back in the day. He was stopping the fight, and he still went after Floyd. And then people started rushing the ring and this and that. I don't know where it was. And then there was
Probably in Vegas.
probably Vegas. And then fights were breaking off in the back, and it was just chaotic. And like I'm talking to some people like, what's the point of Floyd doing exhibitions? He's making money, but it's just like for what? You know what I'm saying? Like
Me
he's making like, isn't there anything else he could be doing? I don't know.
personally, I look at these situations and I think they just needed a viral moment for whatever reason.
It could be happening, especially some of these could be real WWE ish attached.
That sounds straight out of the WWE.
Is
The
Mike
ball
Tre-
breaking out?
Is Mike Trubisky still on the Tampa Bay?
Great question.
Oh, you talking about Mitchell Trubisky?
I mean,
Yeah. No, you good. So you know who's the starting quarterback for? I don't know where Mitchell Trubisky is, but Baker Mayfield's actually.
oh yeah. I
Baker Mayfield is actually the quarterback for Tampa Bay now. I would.
Correct.
I mean,
Mike Evans still on there, right?
let's see. Where is Mitchell Trubisky? Where in the world is Mitchell Trubisky?
Was on the Bears, then he was on the Steelers. Where in the world is Mike Trubisky?
He
Mitchell
is.
Trubisky.
He is the backup quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers,
Still.
and I knew that he was
Still.
on there
Yeah,
last year.
because we talked about it a bunch last year.
Yeah,
Still,
he was on
still,
there last year.
Still.
But Mitchell Trubisky is the backup quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Bet. Random question.
Arch
Thanks for
nemesis of the
asking.
Baltimore Ravens.
Thanks for asking.
You want him on the Cowboys too? I mean, he might be our backup at some point.
What's his name?
Tomorrow's
Cooper. He
Sunday.
was the man. Skip Bayless loved him some Cooper.
Oh, one other thing I want to touch on the show.
Yes.
So, shout out to Mike B. He said he want to be a guest on the show.
Mike B, yeah, come on, Mike B. We've had
So-
Chrome here. Yeah,
so, Ed,
come on.
this
Mike
is
B.
technically
Thursdays.
This is technically sports news, but it's not sports news. But how do you feel about the Skip and Shannon breakup?
Great topic. I'm glad you brought that up. We forgot to brought that up. Maybe it ran its course. They did 7 years, and you know what I'm saying? There shouldn't be with friends, colleagues, coworkers, whatever, family, whatever. There shouldn't be no disrespect. And I feel like Skip kind of gets a little too comfortable. And you know, but maybe he does it for headlines and shock value. But you don't want to I think, and that's what it came down to. Maybe they had different political views on certain things, different views on different events. The Hamlin situation with the Bills, Skip Bayless was real. He spoke on that. That was weird. He's he should have kept the game going. You know, stuff like that. He told him he's jealous of Tom Brady. That was stupid. You know what I'm saying? Just stuff like that. Skip Bayless just be doing too much. He just be the little friend that just be doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff. Sometimes you don't say stuff that makes sense, and you do it for a reaction or shock value,
Right.
or attention or whatever. That's what I get from it. So, and if Shannon felt that he needed to leave and do his own thing and not get disrespected, then yeah, that's what he should have did. So,
Said Mike B says Shannon don't need Skip.
he don't. You know what I'm saying? He got his own podcast, he got his own show. He can do whatever he wants.
Club Shay
He
Shay.
been a gajillionaire, been a Hall of Famer, all of that. He wasn't in the media before Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless, like, he thanked Skip Bayless, and they had to end an episode, and that went well. I did prefer Skip and Shannon over First Take. You know what I'm saying? I'm not First Take. I don't know. First Take was it, but that ran its course, and they'll both tell you it was Skip and Stephen A. Those were the prime years. That's what I wanted to do when I grew up, was watching Skip and Stephen A.
Yeah, that 2009 to 2014
Come on, but
time
maybe
period.
like it ran, and they talk about this, and Stephen A. had Max since, and he's like guest and this and that. You don't want to, again, they're not going to be together 50
Forever,
years.
yeah.
So
But shout out to both of them.
shout
You
to
know what
both
I'm
of
saying?
them.
Two legends.
Yeah, Skip, I think, but loose prediction on Skip.
You said what?
He might have some guests, or he might have a replacement. It's not gonna have the impact of Shannon Sharp.
I mean, I
It's
and
not
also
gonna have the impact. Shannon Sharp is, he could talk that talk because he's walked that walk. You know what I'm saying?
and also I think with Shannon, the thing that's probably about to happen, I don't think Shannon's gonna be on the news or anything, but I think he's gonna take more of like a Michael Strahan route here.
Good for him. Good for
It's almost crazy to think
outlets, yeah.
Strahan went from player to sports analyst to overall.
Good Morning
news.
America.
Yeah, Good Morning America. So, and I see kind of like that same trajectory for Shannon. People are starting to really acknowledge him, and
Yeah.
people are responding well to him as an interviewer.
Shout out to Shannon. Shout out to Skip.
So maybe we see Shannon on 60 Minutes or something like that.
And then, so that's I think that's a little bit of everything. Like I said, next week. Once again, this is episode 42. This is it's at 3:23. Thursday, episode 42. Normal Guys Talk Sports. We will see you next week for sure. The NBA draft is 7 days from now. We'll get that together. So next episode is the draft episode. Shout out to Andre, Big Andre, Dre over here, being the guest. I asked him a little while ago. I said, "Hey, you trying to be on the show?" He's like, "Yeah, I seen the show. I'll be on the show." I'm like, "I bet." So now here he is. We made it happen. So once again, appreciate you being on the show, sir. Good luck to you with the basketball career, football career. We'll see you again here soon enough. So, and then might pull an Andre video towards the end, right? We got the Andre, artist, So shout out to all our partners, sponsors, everybody. Shout out to the studio, Never Satisfied Studios. Everyone here. Shout out to the CEO, Double R. He makes a lot of things happen, right? Shout out to Radio Raheem, right? Mm-hmm. Right. Shout out to Double R. So shout out to the clothing line. Get you some merch, of course. Shout out to the music department. Everyone here making music. It's shout out to everyone. We're always doing something.
Cause I'm never
We're never satisfied. Correct. More on your music in a moment. Shout out to the podcasts, all the podcasts out here outside of, everyone here. IK. Special shout out to Lance. We love you, Lance. We love you, Lance. Lance has got some life going on. I'll let him tell it. But shout out to Lance. We love Lance. Everyone IDK, of course. Smoke Detector. Timeout. Everyone doing the podcast. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the restaurant, Bistro 808. Shout out to Calios Tacos. Calios Tacos, best taco truck at DFW. He's everywhere. Shout out to Matt doing something behind the scenes right now. Pull up the video. Yeah, that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. He's doing something. Shout out to Everything Is Both the movie, streaming now on Apple TV, Amazon, Xfinity, Redbox. Everything Is Both, starring Jason Mitchell, Barton Fitzpatrick, Stakaya Washington, Edward W. I've got three. So we had the movie premiere. What's the day? The 15th. We had the movie premiere. June 2nd, I think, something like that. June 2nd, we had it here. It was at the Angelica. Shout out to Jaquavius Coleman. Shout out to everyone a part of the movie, everyone that came out to support. Matt was there. Matt was there. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to everyone supporting the movie. Shout out to everyone pull up. Shout out to everyone streaming it. Once again, everything is both on a lot of major platforms. Like I said, Apple, Amazon, Redbox, and Xfinity. So shout out to everything is both the movie.
Shout out to Ed.
Hey man, shout out to Dre J, man. Dre J's known Dre J a long time. About 20 years now. 20 years. 20 years now. So we're pulling up
Not even 20.
Dre J's music video, produced by Never Satisfies Dialogue. He was walking around here earlier. Matt filmed it. It was it was a cool song. About 2 years ago, so Andre's 8, so it's about, you were 2 years ago. You were 6, right? You was 5 and you made it, so it was about 3 years ago. So you're 8. There you go. Here we go. This is what we're looking at. Shout out to CEO, make it happen. There you go. I got the before the growth.
It's a little glitchy right now. Shout out to Ray Ray. Bag. I need money. Don't I need his money? He don't need a little bit, he need a lot big. Don't I need his money? He don't need a little bit.